Hello, farmers. It's Farmer Rever, and I am on Farming Simulator 19. It's been a while since I've played this game, and I thought, you know what? They have recommended videos, and somebody was talking about an Iowa farm that's a really nice map, and I was thinking about how much actually, it really is a nice state of Iowa has been in the news for the Democratic National Committee's or the Democrats' primary caucus that really didn't go too well for them. In any event, so here we are in Iowa. We're Republican farmers, just like the vast majority of the state of Iowa. I don't know how they take the Iowa primary caucus very seriously, I guess because it's one of the first caucuses. But in all honesty, I mean, I think there's really just not that many Democrats, generally speaking, in that state. So sort of, for the Democrats, kind of a odd state to have be the first one. But in any event, so here we are, politics aside, and I managed to find some John Deere mods. Most of these, I believe, are just from the mod hub, so you could get them relatively easily. If anybody has an interest in what they are, I can help you guys figure it out one way or the other if you leave a comment. I don't know how long we'll actually do this, but I bought us a John Deere combine and a John Deere tractor. I set up the map. If you download this map, and I had to get it from Nexus Mods, and apparently I'd had an account. It's one of those, okay, register, and then next thing you know, it's like, you've already registered, so I got that straightened out, and went and bought us a little bit of equipment. It's, let's come in here. I think I could just come right in this door. Some of these doors are kind of unique. Oh, and just so you know, if you hit F1, you can, if you have Windows, I don't know what the key is if you have a Mac computer or Linux, but anyway, if I hit F1, it will show that little helper screen. Let me know if you'd like to see that open. But we just really have some basic equipment. We got a sprayer. We've got a subsoiler. And attached to here, I got a corn header and a regular wheat header. There's the corn header. Over here, we've got a bucket. In the bucket, if you can see in there, we've got some pitchforks, some cargo forks, not pitchforks. And then we have a seeder here from John Deere. Now, the other equipment that we have around the farm, we don't have as John Deere. I mean, if you guys know of a good John Deere mod, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But really, if you're in Iowa, you see a lot of John Deere. So I don't think it would necessarily be right to get too many other things if we're going to do an American playthrough and an American map. And I changed the dollars to, I changed it to dollars. And let's go ahead and put this guy away. We actually probably should figure out what we're doing. Let's take a look at the map, just so you guys can see that. So I'm going to assume that a fair number of you watching, especially this first video, are people who've never played Farming Simulator, maybe might want to know what the game is about. And the game is about, let me hit escape. We have, you get a map, of course, and this is where we buy our equipment from. And then these green fields are the ones we own. Now we can also click on this or hit X and open this up. I use an Xbox controller, so you may see at times that the keys switch to, like, say, hit the B button or use the D-pad, and that's the reason why. So you can use this quite well. The Xbox controller or steering wheel, or some people try to get very realistic. Now what I did was I cheated the amount of money that I had so that I could buy this field right here. I also sort of cheated to buy all of this equipment. So you normally start off with $100,000 on a new farm, and the new farm actually gives us these buildings. Each different map will have potentially a different set of buildings and whatnot. So you could start from scratch, and none of this would be here. So, eventually you can actually buy buildings in the game. Here, let me show you if I hit P. And then we come into here. So these are different placeable buildings. So we'll actually want to get animal pens, and we can put them where we want. Let me double click on that. Let's say we wanted a little chicken coop. Chickens, they're my least favorite. And horses are fine, and you can make money off of them, but they're a little boring because you have to like ride them all the time, and that's a bit of an issue for me. Not that I can't ride them all the time, but yeah. So I don't have enough money. Okay, I don't have enough money for that one. Let's pick something. Okay, chicken coop. I'm just trying to show you. So see, we could put this chicken coop down someplace once we get it to turn green, right? It's probably a little bit. Sometimes the game's a little weird, especially with custom maps, because it doesn't always recognize, like they might have left something in the field right there, or we're just a little bit too close to that gas thing, even though it doesn't look like. Now you got to keep in mind too, there's like pens potentially off of the side, so there's sort of an area. But we could put a chicken coop here if we wanted to. I don't want to spend all our money on a chicken coop at this point. And then, we got a mod here. What is this one? Cow husbandry. Okay, now that might be something that's included with the map because there was a couple things I got. So there's sheep, and then there's pigs, and then there's cows and chickens. And the chickens are relatively easy to take care of, but their eggs are a bit of a pain to collect up. And then there's we're going to need to get a silo at some point where we can store grain, but we don't really have enough money. So we're going to make this a bit of a challenge, even though I did cheat things in. And you can get different mods. We can put up more sheds for our buildings. And it does benefit you to keep your equipment in a shed. And if you get a mod, make sure you get one that's properly built for FS19 because, like, I don't know, they have to put some kind of layer in the game that says this is a building, and underneath of there is a good place to park your equipment. So for that, well, again, we should probably, let's take a little bit more of a tour. So there's about five or so farms on this field, or on this map. And we're going to open it up. And again, at this point, I'm using my controller. Get in there without climbing up the door. And it's kind of neat. Over here, they have like open the door, right? Oh, yeah, it's a little bit. Before I couldn't get away from it telling me to turn on the light. Yeah, so that's that door. There you go. Switch the light. See that? So you kind of have to stand in the right place. But I learned if you stand over this way, maybe I'm making a liar out of me. I don't think I'm going to be open and closing this door once I get it open. All right. That. Okay. That's this other door behind me. I want to get this one open. Yeah, see, that's the light. I want the light on. See if I look at it, if that helps. No. All right, well, I'll work it out off camera. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't having that hard a time. I did have, I did see an open door thing. It's a matter of standing, I think, standing in the right place. If we look at it. Yeah, I don't know. I was over here, and I got it before. There you go. Hey! And that's just a pretty cool door. I haven't seen a door that opens up like that. That would be... You know what? I don't know that I've ever seen something like that in my life. I mean, maybe, but boy, that's an expensive door to be able to lift it up like that. And then one of the problems that we have is I'm going to put the combine back here, but before I found the John Deere combine, I had bought another one, getting our vehicles situated. So we have to pull this out and put that in, put some of our equipment away. And then over here, these are some of the placeable buildings. Now the game, so I placed these two buildings down, more or less what was in this field area, right? And then if we come over here to purchase, there's also this landscaping tool. So if we hit start landscaping, you'd see I'm in sculpting mode, so I can raise or lower the terrain. So this map has a lot of ditches. We could come in here, say, a little bit difficult to do it at times, but if I were to right click here, see how it raises that up? So we could actually get over to that field from here, right? And then you have smooth and flattened. So if we And that's, if I hold both of these in, it sort of flattens everything out, right? I don't want to mess things up too much. I already messed up that field a little bit. That is one of the fields we own. So anyway, so you got a whole sculpting tool, and you can paint this gravel. So I made this look kind of nice. Now that cost us, if you look, $600 for that. But that actually might not be that bad a thing to do, because then that little bit of getting rid of that ditch might have saved us some headaches. So in any event, let's just keep going. So that's that one building, and then there's this building back here. Is that the end? Yeah, see, this is a whole nother building. But I think, yeah, this is the door here. So we got a whole nother building back here that we can put stuff in. So there's nice storage in this area. And you'll see over time we would definitely need that. We got a water spigot here. That's good to keep in mind. And I believe it works. Some of the stuff might just be decorations. But usually when you see those spigots, it's the real thing. And there we go. In here we have a lime spreader. So one of the issues that we have right off the bat is getting fertilizers and lime and whatnot up here. So let's go ahead and put away this equipment. And I want to put this guy into here. So let's get this off of here first. Now I'm going to, some of this, I set up my controller to be just the way I like. So I use the D-pad to zoom out there, and then let's see if we can swing this in there. It's kind of a short piece of equipment for backing up. But I don't know if that'll fit in there or not. Yeah, it looks like it will. Not a lot of extra room, though. Which is sort of... a little more drastic than what you would do in real life. And just so you know, like, this game is definitely farming simulator. Now, if you look up in the top, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but in the top left, there's a little picture of a tractor. And see how the symbols changing? So I made sure I switched to the back piece. And it usually will be on the last thing that you attach. Now, I would like to put these in here, but I think I'm going to put them on the other side now that that thing's so big. So let me come here, and we need to get this guy to be... yeah, then we need to get it out of here. If you wiggle... I guess the game has an issue with... when you think about the game, like, it has to try to hold things in the bucket in some kind of a realistic way. So it's... I think, let's go a little bit lower. There we go. So I should be able to spin around and pick that up in a minute. All right, let's get the bucket a little bit level. And then I'm going to put it on this side because I think... yeah, I could probably put them on either side, but I want to be able to get in there and get that other piece of equipment out without having to move too much. And you can spin around pretty well in the game. Now you want to kind of, just so you know, like, see how, let me zoom in a bit. So let's spin and hit that door, zoom out. You don't really want to leave your equipment down like that because it can cause you to flip. Now, I don't mean the equipment doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to drop this off, right? Gonna hit G to be on the last bit there, right? Boom. It's more a matter of the tractor itself, because if it goes to pick something up at the wrong angle, it could like flip you up in the air. So we're gonna spin around here real quick and we're probably just gonna leave this on for right now. I didn't really necessarily need that bucket. Now, there used to be more often like a symbol that came down at the bottom. You know what? I should probably do this. We could do, I think it's Control S, show lines. I'm going to turn these off. This is guide and steering, and what that'll do is make straight lines for us in the fields, which to me it's also has been called in the past GPS mod, but I think he named it something different because this is different than the original GPS mod. But it's basically, a mod that lets you drive in that straight line. So if we turn that off, sorry about that. I didn't even really notice it, though I probably should have. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a problem. Well, do we put this stuff away? We'll leave that there for a moment. I might put it away after the episode. So let's go over to this map. Now, one of the things the map lets you do is find where we have some equipment. So if we zoom in a little bit, you'll see that there's like equipment sitting around here. Now, I bought a bunch of stuff, and then we might even own like 2 of something because I didn't realize, like, this is the shop up here. I didn't realize a bunch of this stuff went to the animal dealer. So I want to take a run down there and see about getting some fertilizer. Let's turn this off. We won't need that. And you know what else? Now, one thing to keep in mind, if I hit this escape, that guy's still moving, right? That's not the way you pause this game, mostly because it can be played online in like a multiplayer kind of setup. So you definitely want to just keep that in mind. That's all I have to say, because you could get yourself into a lot of trouble. But what we need to do is get some fertilizer, even though I did fill up the fertilizer on the one thing, but we're also going to need some lime. And until we save up some money, I don't necessarily, we can buy some placeables if we want, but it's also a little bit fun to show you guys how to work with the forks. And now, or we actually, I have these auto-loading trailers. You know, we don't have a vehicle, and then this tractor is relatively slow, and I won't drive back and forth too much, but if you look at this map, it is really nice. Now, I've driven through Iowa, and I have to admit, I was mostly just on, well, I was just on major highways when I did it. And it does look a lot like this. It's a beautiful state. I mean, these rolling hills, and you know, it really is a nice place. It's not quite as flat. At least most of it's not as flat as some parts of the United States out that way. There we go. So this is the main road back into town. There's another farm up there. You can see it. Now, there's no other farmers, and I don't see any vehicles. I do have the vehicles on. For those of you who are more familiar with the game, I have some of the other settings that I have are, I have the dirt on slow because I just find, you know, and that means like how fast dirt gets on your tractors. I have no idea how good these mods are. Each vehicle that you get will get dirt at a different rate in different places. So sometimes I think it's just way too quick. I do have plant withering on, so we're going to have to make sure that our crops are good to go at that point. You know, we want to get them before they die, which is rarely a problem for me. I mean, I know some people seem to struggle with that. I think if you build up into it, you start to get a feel for when you're hitting your maximum. And you don't, very rarely would anything ever wither, unless you just weren't really paying attention. Maybe you were off doing forestry. So yeah, this game has a whole, like, really any of these trees can be cut down and sold for firewood. Now, some of them are going to be like friendly for processing, and other ones you'll have to like chop up manually and manually load into a trailer. But assuming that there's a lumber mill in this map, and there almost always is, you can do forestry, which is sort of a weird thing to add, but they did it, I think, for FS19, or I forget exactly right now. I started playing when it was Farm Sim 15. And like I bought the game while it was 15 was the game, and then they did 17, which I thought was a pretty decent improvement. And 19 I just really wasn't that happy with. It just, the graphics do look better, but it just really didn't add that, like, I'm not the biggest graphics guy. I'd rather see like more things, make it more challenging, have their soil or seasons. Now there is a seasons mod. Mention that. And the seasons mod, oh, we have a John Deere dealer here. Can we buy stuff from the John Deere dealer? I didn't even notice that. Sorry, I cut myself off. So the seasons mod makes things a lot more challenging for the, you know, you kind of only get one crop in, or maybe 2, I guess, but depends on where you're at. Yeah, I didn't even know this stuff was going to come down here. Now, is there the other question I would have? Yeah, so this must just be like an overflow. What is in here? Nothing. Okay. So I guess a lot of these things are mods, and I know they have seen before where they have, I'll call it dummy vehicles as like props for the game. So they probably just either didn't take the time and I don't blame them, right? So I got this trailer, and I'm not really sure how it works exactly, but it's supposed to be an auto-loading trailer. Now, I'm hoping we can actually load these pallets in here. So let's head back over. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Tractor Supply. If you're not from America, and even if you are, Tractor Supply is more like a hardware store for farmers. I guess is the best way to describe it. Alright, so let's come up here. We'll hop out just for the sake of saying we're out. And now that we're out, we will purchase. No more landscaping. And we're going to come over here to this crates. And what we want is pallets. Well, we need bags. The big bags are nice, and what we want the big bag of is the lime bag. Now we're going to do a little bit of a test here. All right, now how much was that? 2,000. Yeah. We're going to need a lot more than that. All right, but you know what? Let's just make sure we can get them in this thing. And then the other thing we want, let's go back one. We want a pallet. Now, some of this is liquid. And see how it says liquid here? So this is liquid fertilizer. We have a little bit of that, but we're going to need, oh, you know what? We need a big bag of seeds. That's what we need. And we will probably want some herbicide, which I guess depends on which part of the country, which side of the Atlantic you live on. Herbicide, you guys say? I know you say herb, or we say herbs here, but do you say herbicide when you? I don't know. In any event, all right, let's buy one of those. I'm sort of doing a test here to how much this thing holds, and so what we did want was big bags. I'll show you something else in a minute. So what we need is a seed big bag. We'll probably get 2 of those. All right, so there they are right there. And I want to see, let's go ahead and put the F1 back on, right? Unfold, it's a bear trailer. So this does large square bales. Yeah, so I don't think this is going to do what we wanted to. Let's see what X does. It's very cool, but that's not at all what we need right now. Which is one of the reasons I saved some money. So let's fold this guy back up. I think we'll leave him right here. I'm not going to sell him. Not at this exact second. Though if you do sell things, you get a little more money. Things do deteriorate rather quickly. Alright, so let's Q and drop that off. Then I want to hit P again, and we're going to come in here to trailers. Yeah, auto load. Yeah, there really wasn't, like much of a description there. I guess I should have tested that. So as far as auto load goes, I guess it's this guy or this guy. I don't know what an Aufbau is. Yeah, what is Aufbau? Well, let's get it for $1,500 extra. Maybe we want it. Bales and pallets to be loaded. Yeah, and this is just not saying. I think this is just an auto load bale trailer. And I don't, even if it's not just an auto load bale trailer, I want to be a little bit more legit, right? Like we'll have our trailer to go to town. Right, so that should be right over here. So what happens on this map is apparently it sends stuff over to the John Deere dealer if they can't pick it up from here. Right, so there you go. Autoloader work mode on. And that would be hitting you. There we go. Yeah, so we can hold a lot of these things on here. The other option would be to have to load these things manually. This is going to be fun. That's okay. We can, like, trying to turn something around with these dolly wheels. It seems a lot harder in the game than it actually does in real life. Though in real life, it's not what I would call a picnic either. And just so you notice, like, I don't have anything in the controls right there because none of the controls are tied. Like right now, that controls thing is in joystick mode, or, you know, it's going based on my, you know, like the controller. I want to spin around here carefully. I don't want to lose any of these, but I want to get some more of this stuff. Let's drive around the long way this time. I don't want to buy way too much. So what do we have? We got... Yeah, we didn't get enough lime, really. Alright, let's hop out, take a real quick look. So we got... Yeah, that's seeds. And we got... That's herbicide. Or this is herbicide. This is lime. Right? That's seed. So we got 2 seeds and 2 lime. And herbicide. So let's go ahead and get another herbicide, 2 more seeds, and 6 more lime. I think they'll all fit. So I forget what I just said. 2 more seeds. And that's just based on experience. I mean, you know. So that should be 2 more seeds. And then we want... six more of these. Now, I think I can... Yeah, see, I think I can hit A. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever that is, it's fine. And then I'm going to hit back. Right, and then I'm pretty sure we have a solid fertilizer that we can use on our thing. So I'm going to buy 2 solid fertilizer. And we have the spray fertilizer. We can worry about maybe getting more of that later. All right, we don't even really have that many fields, but certainly going to make a difference. You know, we sort of need to get, you know, built up with this. So yeah, we don't need pig food. All right, so let's go back. Yeah. I don't know how much fertilizer we're going to need, but let's get this, an extra one of these. We might have to come back down, of course, but this will get us started. We're down to 65,000. So that's the other reason you really want. Yeah, you know what? Hopefully we can. All right, let's get out of here. Right. There they all are. One. This is still... If I just hit a key like G, like say I switch back, unload mode off. Okay, we're just not far enough along. There we go. Let's see how much. Oops. There you go. All right, so we're gonna have to come back. So let's. Yeah, backing up's a bit of an issue, but that's all right. We can get started with whatever we have on there. All right. And that saves a lot of time. Like, if you want to manually load all those, it's just a lot of fiddly. So I think a lot of these trailers will have, yeah, fasten belt. Oh, see, it missed. Yeah, that's not too impressive here. All right. Yeah, usually it shows it like up over the thing. See that belt right there? You know, like it should be putting that over it. Now I hope it will work and it's just a graphics thing, right? There we go. Yeah, so hopefully as we head on back, they don't all fall off. We'll know when we get to the corner here, right? Now the one thing nice about it, this kind of trail, yeah, see it's holding them on there. Unfortunately, the graphics aren't smart enough on this mod to wrap them around. We'll also know when we get over these railroad tracks. But there you go. So, and the one thing I would say, for those of you who've never been to the United States maybe, is this is, you know, pretty realistic. The signs are all, you know, relatively accurate. And every state in the United States has a little bit different signs potentially. Not every state, but there are differences from state to state. So I can't, like, there's the one sign that I noticed. Here, let's zoom in here a little bit. One sign that I noticed up ahead here that would be definitely different than I would normally see would be, they have a couple speed limit signs with these orange markers on them. Let's show you what it's coming the other way. See this sign right there? There's we don't really see that where I live. But other than that, all these other signs are like very familiar to me, and really, like this area is not that different in some ways. Not so much where I live, but the state I live in you could tell me I was in that state and I would believe you. Like the way I'm being evasive about where I live for the sake of the internet, I guess. So what do you guys think of the coronavirus? I know by the time well, it'll be tomorrow when you see this video. I'm not ahead on the videos. And my mom is actually on a ship that they've not quarantined the ship, but they're not letting them off. And there was like, I don't know, something like 24 Chinese that were workers on the ship, and they tested them, and 4 of them they sent to the hospital for further evaluation on that coronavirus. So a little bit nervous. I hope mom is okay at that point. I mean, she texted me and she's fine. She didn't, say anything was wrong. But obviously, if those 4 people, now out of the 24, most of them just got cleared immediately. And then I was listening to somebody else in their video, and they were saying that it takes a little time for the test to fully come back to confirm it. So it could be up to a couple days before you can confirm it. And that sort of fits with what she was saying, because they're not going to leave until tomorrow. So they came into port, and I guess you get, there was 2 legs to this tour. I see these orange signs right here. Sorry to interrupt my story. That we don't usually do that. I don't see that, the 2 orange things flagging off of there. Now, I will see sometimes they put below there like an orange sign if there's some specific information. But normally you just get the sharp turn sign there without the actual thing. And by the way, back there, I think you would more likely see like an S-turn sign because it's like a zig and a zag. So, but anyway, yeah, so hopefully mom's okay. It's a little concerning, that coronavirus. And it sounds like from the latest, that caused me to go look it up, how they're doing with it. And 2 interesting things I heard about it. One is, apparently, Asians are more likely to be susceptible to it. Doesn't mean that other nationalities or other races couldn't get the coronavirus, but it's less likely to be as detrimental. That's very preliminary, but it's certainly something that's more likely to affect an Asian person more directly. It's not good. And then the other thing is it really does seem like it's fairly well contained in China. Not contained, but you know, the problem is, are these other countries doing enough to like keep it from spreading throughout their country? I think, you know, it's one thing. I have a fair amount of faith in the American government when it comes to that kind of thing. So we're going to pull over here. Now we do have crop destruction. So I don't want to just go tooling through the fields, but I'm hoping... Oh, that's kind of steep. A little bit more of a hill than I pictured. All right, so let me back up. I'm just going to hit the G so that I move around and I can see what my options are. Can I... Yeah, B, mark unload position. Yeah, see, I want to unload it like right there. Yeah, not quite so close to the building. Yeah, can you back up a little bit? All right, I don't know. Can you guys see that unload position? All right, and then let's do G again just so it gets the right menu up. Yeah, unfasten belts is L. There you go. Unfastened. Auto load, marker, move up. No, that's fine right where you're at there. Yeah, auto load, unload. All right, so how do I actually make it happen? Y. There we go. Boom. Yeah, and you can imagine if we were trying to do that with an actual forklift, it would have been a lot more work. Now, one of the problems we have is we really don't have a drive-through shed to put this thing in. Maybe we just park it right up here for now. I'm on the right piece of equipment. Yep, there we go. So we've dropped that off. Now, one of the reasons for the forklifts is as time... do that all the time. I hit the wrong thing on the D-pad. I just wanted to pull in. Is that we can move those around at times and we'll need to. So I did say, let's take a look at our fields. So let's come in here. Let's hop out of here. No sense in running the fuel. Now, there is a way that you can turn that off so that when you get in there, you have to like hit the enter key to start it yourself to make it more realistic. When I jump in, it just automatically runs. Now, I have to run down there and get a lot of that equipment from down here. But let's take a look at how our fields are doing. So what we have is these filters so that we can see the different types. Now, yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything in these fields down here. If we come over here, you can see growth. It's just cultivated. Now, I want to show you something. If we go down there, and this, I've seen this before, and I'm going to hit 9 so you guys know where I'm at on the map. Right? Plus, I know where I'm going. Well, that's the rest of the... When I came back up earlier, I had bought a little bit more liquid fertilizer, so we got that one tank there. Yeah, right up here, through these trees. Oh, by the way, these trees here are the nice ones for being able to cut down and run through the processing equipment. But this is the field. We're standing in 15. So this looks like a bunch of grass, I'm assuming. Maps can have different grass textures. That's why it's a little bit confusing. But yeah, to me, that definitely looks more like grass than anything else. But this field probably could be cut and the grass harvested. And then, now if we take a look, see, it's not saying anything grown. Oops. Right, so I'm a little bit confused as to what might be grown. Let's turn cultivated off. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be anything here, but I'm pretty sure we could cut this and then do something with these fields. But I kind of wanted to see why this shape, right? Like it's not, why isn't this just one big field, right? Is it? Yeah, you know what? Well, it's because there's a fairly steep hill right here, I think. Yeah, so I don't know, is this considered... And you can see there's a difference. See, this is clover that's growing. It's not fertilized or anything. And I've really never dealt with clover, to be honest. I'm not sure if it's good to sell or if it's just something you would give to the horses and make them happier. In real life, clover is, you know, like a 3-leaf clover. I mean, it's a different type of grass that gives horses different nutrients. I've never really heard of people giving it to cows, but I guess imagine they would eat it. There you go. So this is 16. So let's take a look again here. Yeah, it's hard to see where one field ends and another one begins, but to me this seems like it's got like sort of grass field written on it. So I think what I'll do is start turning this over into a grass field. And you know, as far as like, I don't think I would wait necessarily for this clover to all grow to do that, because one of the things I'd want to do is come up here and start plowing, you know, where it makes sense to plow, like around here where we're not on the hill, pretty much where the field is now. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over to the tractor magically. And I think I have, we want to put this down, don't we? Yeah, these are going to go in here. Sorry, don't mean to make you seasick. Now, when it comes to grass fields, we can turn it into hay, or we can just get the grass. Oops. I want to drop the small part off first. I'm going to G. G again. Alright, I'm just going to back this up a little bit. Nope, don't need to do that. Let's put it just on an angle right here. Be fine. Now this is where you want to make sure that that thing's not facing down too much. Like I said, 'cause that, if it is, that's what's going to cause it to be lower. And it doesn't hurt to put this like in the down position and then hit Q. But I'm not sure that that mattered that much. Now we want to get this guy. So we're not going to actually plow. We're going to use this subsoiler, especially, though eventually we may plow, but this guy's, the game's pretty friendly about not being exactly on the spot when it comes to hooking things up. I think guys have actually created mods, and we got to figure out how to get over there, don't we? Can we just drive this way? Yeah. It's like somebody cut a path through there. All right, now let me just show you this. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole field. There's a couple things to show you. And this field's going to be kind of tough. Let's take a look at the map again. Yeah, see, this field's going to be kind of tough for picking a line, but I think I would make a line like along this way that would be a straight line. And you kind of want to make the longest for the most part, just so you're not turning as much. These fields are just so goofy that it's not funny. Now, the reason I say that is I think I'd like to come up. You know what? We really should probably cut this first, because there probably is something of value here. We can do what I'm doing anyhow. I don't think I'm actually hurting anything because there's, quote, nothing there. But if this was real crops, I wouldn't want to do it. There's sort of a line in the graphics. I'm going to try to line up with that for the most part. And I'm going to come up here to this mod called Guidance Settings. Steering Guidance. Guidance Steering. Oh, sorry. And we're going to put the lines on, right? And I have to kind of remember exactly what the buttons are. I think, yeah, we might have to go look at the thing. So you can pick your line strategy. A, B, straight is what we want. And we could call this like current track name, right? We could change this to field 15, 16, right? So this will just be a line that we can follow. It doesn't matter too much, right? We're going to save this track. Oh, no, Control S. I don't think I could turn it on, but it might yell at me because we don't actually have this thing set up. And what we want to do is auto width, right? And then that'll be that. Now, I don't know if the auto width... See, I think this is just like the track, not necessarily the width. So but I'm going to hit save track again just because I can. increment, I don't know what that's about. To increase, decrease the width. Oh, how quickly, if we try to increase the width with the hotkeys, does it do it? So the width of 4 sounds about right. Right, and if you want to confirm that, you can hit P and G and go I'm sorry, P and then garage, right, 4 meters. So it should be pretty good. Now, some equipment is not quite as advertised here, so you might get away with a little bit narrower or wider kind of thing, depending on what the problem. Then there's other things with offsets and stuff like that, but we don't have to worry about that too much. All right, so now what I want to do is hit Alt-E. Is that it? There you go. See the little A? There's a little A right underneath the tractor. And then what I'm going to do is back up a little bit. I'm going to drive forward. And I'm stringing out dots. Now, it doesn't matter exactly how I drive. I just want to say that this is a straight line for this field, right? Then I'm going to hit Alt-E again. And I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why the tractor's jumping up and down, but you see that line? Oh, that's really weird. Why is it doing that? And then what I can do is I pre-programmed this from before. I can hit Y and it should follow that line straight. Right? And that'll help a lot with keeping you in line. Now, if we come over here and take a look at the plow, and again, I'm going to hit G, right, just to open up this bigger menu, you'll notice that I can hit Y on the keyboard, and it'll allow me to create fields. And I'm going to do that in a minute, but really what we need to do is get out of here and go get the lawnmowers. All right, I want to see if we cut this, if we get anything off of there, because we might as well either sell it or pile it up or something. So let's just leave this out over here. And drop that off. And the lawnmowers are all the way down by the shop down there. All right, well, you know what? I'm going to pause the video, and it's getting a little bit long, and then I'll bring up the lawnmowers, I think, and maybe even some of the other equipment, and then I'll be back. Guys, I did a thing between the time. We've got a new tractor. This tractor is a lot more expensive. It's not that much more powerful. I didn't do it for that reason, but it's got this PTO attachment on the front. So those eagle-eyed observers that may be watching may note that we now have an upgraded tractor. I put our money right back to where it was, because if I had realized that, I would have definitely, I wanted to go with this butterfly grass setup. It's, you know, something I wanted to show you guys about the game, and butterfly mowers there. And yeah, so here we are. So in any event, let's hop back in, and I can hit X to unfold, and then G to switch and unfold the front one. And then the other thing we want to do is come in here to do Control S, and we'll see about loading up that thing we did, right? To see this, yeah, I don't know. Select the current track to use. Let's go back here. Do auto width. Right, I guess that's right. And this is where we could set it if we wanted to. Yeah, I don't know if this is just me. I know I got this to work in the past, but it almost seemed like I needed 2 tracks in order for this thing to work. So I'm going to do field 15 or 16, save track. Right, and then I wanted. Yeah, see, it's not giving me a choice. Let's come up here and do field 15, save track. Let's escape, come back into it. Field 15. Yeah, see, why are we not getting a track? I guess we have to actually set it up. All right, so let's go back out here. Maybe I didn't set it up. So we're going to go do the same thing we did before. We're going to get out here. We're going to line up. There's a graphics line that I'm kind of lining up with. Oops, let's get the tractor straight. Right, so I want to put this, pretty close to that graphics line. Right, and then I'm going to hit Alt E twice. Right, my tractor's bouncing in this field again. I'm going to go what I think is pretty darn straight. Again, you don't have to go that far. If you have a long straight field, it doesn't hurt your accuracy to go further, but really at this point. So there we go. So there's our bouncy tractor, and we have this set up. Now I'm going to hit Control S again and see if we can't save the track. Okay, now it's up in here. Maybe that's what we didn't do before, right? All right, well, we got it in at this point anyway. So now watch what happens. Like, I'm going to just deliberately turn off of this. And then for me, I'm going to hit the Y on my keyboard. Watch the way it turns me right back to that. So now, as I go around, I can use that as a line, even in the very beginning here. Let's turn around and look at what I'm looking at. I want to run up the hill and get stuck or something. See, so that's holding me right on that line. You can see it's pretty close to the width. It seems like it might be a little too wide. I think for lack of anything else, we'll pull off the field. Let's see if we actually get anything off of this. I believe we will. So I'm going to hit B to turn on the front mower. I guess we need to lower it, right? V. And then we'll pull in a little bit so we don't leave a mess on the edge there. And then we'll do G, V, B. Are we actually making... No, it's after all of that, it's not able to cut it. Okay, well, it would have been worth it if we could have cut it, right? So let's fold this up again. G, V, B, X, right, G. I think we could just do X and we'll pull it up and turn it off and all. All right, well, the best laid plans of mice and men. But we got this stuff up here, so... And I do plan on planting grass, so this is all part of the setup. Takes a little bit. I probably could have done a little bit better job considering, YouTube. And for now, you know what? I'll put this stuff away in between the episodes. So let's just go like here, say. And I'll drop. Drop that. Spin around a little bit. Put this guy next to this building. Drop that, and let's go back to the field. This is where we're going to end it, end the episode is when I start this out. I need to get an episode actually made, but I want to show you what I want to do over in that field before we go too far. Now, we might have an issue with not having a front weight, but we'll just have to see. This tractor should be plenty big enough to do this stuff. One of the unrealistic things about the game is the fact that you can drive way too fast. So what I want to do, and I'll show you this too, is there a good place? Let me just take a look at the map again. Let's move up. Yeah, so I left the game to save and get my money straight. Yeah, probably not. Let me just turn this way for a minute. Now, I'm going to put this plow down, and I want to show you. All right, see how we're plowing up, but it's not going to plow beyond the original field width. So what I want to do is go all the way around, and at some points I might want to make the field just slightly bigger, right? Like, in other words, I may not have agreed exactly with where they did it, and that's one of the reasons this harrower is nice, or this subsoiler is nice. All right, so you can kind of see where the field ends there. Let me do this. We're going to lift it up and then back up a little bit. And then I'm going to hit that Y. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to drive all the way around the fields. And then let's just come like here, right? So what I'll do is we can make this field like a little bit wider right here if we want. I'm going to hit Y, allow create fields. I'm going to hit V. Now watch what happens. See how it makes that field wider? Now, I don't think it makes too much difference in this particular case. But it's not the worst thing to even do to go around with this, and that's where this tool really kind of comes in nice, because it's, it doesn't seem like much, but when you add up going all the way around the field, and a lot of times, like, there's really big headers on some of these fields, and in real life, I don't really see farmers leaving big grass headers all over the place, because, grass header costs you money. Now, so we're going to play grass in here. See how we're making the field at points anyway. And if we're not making it wider, then it's like no harm, no foul, right? See, at some point here, see, it's still awful steep right there, like for baling equipment, because we will have all kinds of equipment in here. All right, but there might be like little things we could do, like cut this corner a bit more than was done before. But that's also where, if I turn the Y off, right, that's at V. The other thing I do like to do, even though it's a little bit time consuming, is like come in here and actually see, in this case, where the field ends. Do you see that? There it is. See over there? And then in a way you can make a better judgment. It looks like it takes a sharp turn. That's why I backed up. Over this way. Yeah, see that? So I could just kind of come in here and figure out where they had the field. And, a little bit of extra work, and then just see what I might do. By the time I drive around it one time, we'll know. And I think I'm just going to get rid of this clover. Again, I don't think it's worth that much. And we'll just plow it all in at this point. Yeah, so this is... We're going a little bit closer right in some spots, and make the field nice. And then when I get that done, we'll come back in the next episodes, because I do want to do a couple episodes. For those of you who've been watching Factorio, I apologize. This will replace the Factorio, but it was down to like 16 views. And I'm not all about the views, but at some point you guys vote with your feet, right? and if there's 16 of you that are watching it, it's just, it's not that it's not worth my effort, but I just soon, play something for a little bit, see if more people like it, and then we'll go from there, All right, so I'm going to go along. Oh, the last thing I should probably show you. Let's do one thing. We'll just get up here real quick, and I'll just show you how this works. Now, I need to, let's come over here. And see, this is where it's nice that we didn't destroy the field. See if we come up. Now, I need to come in here and hit Shift S, right? I'll come back over here, and I'm going to hit auto width, and we'll set it back to 4, right? Hit back. Now, we can adjust this left and right. So, if for some reason and I don't really see it making a big difference, other than, see, we would miss this little spot right over there. So, I think, let's see, is it Alt, page down? Yeah, see how that's moving it over slowly? So, like, I can move it over like this. And don't worry, that didn't actually, it's just because this is an awful narrow path. So, like, if I come in here, this, and I hit Y, because I set this up on my thing, right? I'm going to hit V, and then now I'm going to actually do a row. Right? And that just, even if you don't use it 100%. Now, plowing's a little odd with the graphics. Like, if you try to stretch it out too far, hey, there's a lot of bouncing going on. I'm not sure. Say, I would have to do this anyway, and this makes you where you get it, pretty darn close to where it needs to be. Right? I mean, even though it's like a short row, you're being as efficient as you could in any event, or pretty close to it anyway. Right? And even if I go around the edges, it doesn't make too much difference whether I, like even if I continue my edge thing here. This also, it also gives you, having these dots showing the whole time sort of gives you an idea of, sometimes not so much this tiny piece of equipment, but it does give you some sense of what you have to come back. Sometimes you'll make a little bit different decision going around the field because you realize, well, if I just stay a foot to the left or the right, then I'll cover the whole thing, cover the whole row. So that for now will be our row. It doesn't matter too much. Once we get all set up, we'll be good to go. There you go. Well, let me know what you think of farming simulator. If you have any more questions about how I set things up or whatever, like I've said, I've played, probably 500 hours of this and probably 2,000 hours of Farm Sim 15. So this was, and if you go back at my channel and look, you'll see that there was, quite a few videos that I had made of this over the time. And see how it's deceiving where that field line is? I just went completely off of it. I'm trying to stay, and the map creator made this, so you would assume. I think, I think it goes straight past that tree now that I'm looking. Yep, more or less. Good. All right, well, I'll get this field straightened out, and we'll come back probably when I'm ready to plant it or something like that. But we'll see. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day. Bye-bye.